Okay, so Nick, yours is an interesting one. Obviously, because we don't have the contract, so it's difficult to try to figure out what the contract would say and what the exact wording is. So we'll speak about it very generally. But so tenant moved in year one, and the contract says that there's a 2% increase or escalation in terms of the renewal for year two. But the tenant had the obligation of, I believe it was installation of, sorry, I don't recall.
Security system.
Security system. So installation of the security system. So 2% escalation, and the contract spoke about the tenant being obliged to install a security system. Now, the tenant has not installed that security system, right? And they want to move forward with the renewal, but the landlord is no longer willing to grant that 2%, wants to grant 6%, and the tenant is pushing back to say, well, you didn't give me the 40 to 80 business day notice in terms of the CPA for the 6%, so no, I'm completely unwilling to pay the 6%, I want to pay 2%. What is the best thing to do in these circumstances?
Perfect. So, Bruno, as you say, the first part about this question is looking at the agreement. Now, we obviously don't have the benefit of the agreements, and I want to try and speak as generally as possible. But when it comes to problems like this, what bears some understanding and some thinking about is when you enter into your lease agreement, okay, and this is why people get attorneys to draft lease agreements if you need assistance, you need to anticipate all of the circumstances that might arise in respect of your particular agreement. And this is an example. This is an example of parties who, at the time that they entered into the lease agreement, they anticipated, fantastic, everyone's going to comply with all of their obligations, and we're going to have a happy relationship. And so they've agreed to a term that rentals only are going to escalate at a rate of 2% when the renewal comes, but there's a condition attached to that, which is the installation of the security system. What they did not anticipate is what happens when someone doesn't install the security system. And unfortunately, this is a very common thing. Lawyers, we think in a way that we are always anticipating what happens when when someone doesn't do what they're supposed to. And lay people, our rental agents, they think in a way that everyone is going to comply with their obligations. So my first thing is, if you are entering into an agreement, at the time that you're entering into agreement, try think a little bit more broadly. This is something that you should have dealt with. So in an ideal world, the lease agreement should have said, you're going to get your 2%, provided that the security system is installed. And if it isn't installed, it's at 6%. Okay, that would have sorted out this problem. That's how the agreement should have been drafted. So if you're not in this position and you're entering into a lease agreement, please keep this in mind. Keep in mind what happens when obligations are not complied with. Okay, but that being said, we're now here at this point. So as far as we can determine from the question, the 6% wasn't actually included in the particular agreement. It just said 2% on the condition that on the provision that the security is installed. Security is not being installed in the circumstances. Any escalation in terms of an agreement, so escalating fees, whether it's lease agreements or anything else, it has to be agreed upon in the agreement. Okay, because this is an agreement between two parties, you cannot have a person who unilaterally decides that a fee or any other charge is escalating at a rate that the other party doesn't agree to. Okay, these are bilateral agreements, and so you need both parties to agree to any escalation such as that. I know we've had clients come in before who go, well, I'm escalating or increasing my rental at a market rate, okay, which differs from what they've particularly agreed to in the lease agreement. You can't do it. Okay, lease agreements have to be agreed upon between parties. It's the basis upon which agreements are concluded. So if there's no agreement where the 6% can be increased, unfortunately, there's no ability to force that on the other party. Okay. So then just to talk about the 40 to 80 business days. So in this circumstance, the tenant has said, well, you didn't give me a 40 to 80 business day notice in terms of the Consumer Protection Act. Now, let's just highlight that section just a little bit. We've talked about Section 14, the Consumer Protection Act, a lot, but we talk about it in the context of breach and cancellation and what is required. This is still a Section 14 section. However, this relates specifically to renewals. And what the Consumer Protection Act says is a supplier of a service, in other words, the landlord, must not more than 80 nor less than 40 business days before the expiry of a service agreement, give the consumer of the service, in other words, the tenant, notice of the end of the agreement. And if the supplier is willing to renew the agreement, they must set out what terms are going to apply to the renewal period. So you have to say in that notice, I'm willing to extend the lease agreement for whatever period, and the rental is going to increase by X amount. If you haven't already dealt with that in the lease agreement, this is exactly how you would deal with it. Okay, so it's very common that this is an unnecessary step, because generally our lease agreements say if it's going to renew for any further period, 6%, and it's written there in the schedule of the lease agreement. But if it isn't, these are the steps that you have to do. You have to give the tenant notice. You have to say what terms, if it is actually going to renew, what are the terms of the renewal? And then in terms of that notice, you also have to say to the tenant, look, you've got two options. Either you can agree to the terms of this renewal, in which case it will be affected. Alternatively, you can say, I'm not happy, I'm not going to accept the renewal on that particular basis. And then the lease agreement comes to an end, as it was at the end of the fixed term of the lease agreement. Okay. In our particular case here, it's a little bit too late, because we didn't give the notice. The lease agreement is coming to an end already, and the 40 to 80 business days notice has not been given. And the effect of that is that the lease agreement is going to continue on a month-to-month basis on the same terms that already exist between the parties. So unless there's already a pre-existing agreement that 6% is going to be implemented, it's just going to continue on the same terms that already exist between the parties. Now, landlords, please be careful about this. If you have not included a provision for increased rental in your next year of occupation, the rental stays the same. It doesn't automatically increase by a percentage, be that CPI or whatever the case is. It will stay exactly the same, because that is what you guys have agreed to. Okay. So in this particular circumstances, unfortunately, we sit in a situation where I think the agreement is going to continue on a month-to-month basis, going forward at the same rental. The good part for the landlord in the circumstances is this is not a permanent problem, because the lease agreement is now continuing on a month-to-month basis, because you've not agreed to a fixed term renewal, because the 40 to 80 business days notice wasn't given. Landlord, you're in a position to actually give notice and say, look, I'm willing to now enter into renewal, or if you are going to continue to occupy on a month-to-month basis, these are going to be my terms. And if you are not in acceptance with those particular terms, landlord, you have the ability to terminate the agreement by giving a month's notice. No need for a breach of the agreement at all. You just say, this is what my rental is going to be going forward. Either that's for a fixed term, or you simply say, I'm giving you a month's notice if you don't accept those particular terms, and you bring the lease agreement to an end. So from a landlord's perspective, it's not critical. You will have 1 month where there's going to be this problem of a lower rental than perhaps you're entitled, but that can be sorted out very quickly. What's important for the context of this particular conversation is the 40 to 80 business days notice. It is something that is required of us in terms of fixed term lease agreements that we do. And I know that many landlords, obviously being lay people and including many agents, this is something that we forget about a lot of the time that actually needs to be implemented. So please, if you are dealing with the lease agreement, if you're starting a lease agreement, please keep these things in mind. Keep your terms. What happens when people don't comply with their obligations that they've agreed upon, and what happens with a lease agreement that's renewed, either for a fixed period or on a month-to-month basis. What do we do with the rental? And for those of you who are in your lease term, please remember, when you get towards the end of the lease term, the lease agreement is coming to an end, give the notice in terms of the Consumer Protection Act. Let your tenant know what your expectations are for the lease agreement to go further after the expiry.
Absolutely. Cool. Thanks so much, Nick.
Perfect. Thanks, Bruno,
Have a
and we will see you next week.
great week.
All right. Cheers.
Cool. Cheers.